Oh, hey. How are you guys doing? What's up? Oh. Fancy seeing you here. Looking good today. I think I should actually do an ASMR stream sometime. My hair's wild today. What do we got for Booch? First of all, happy Boiz Day. Check this out real quick. This song making me need to pee. Boiz out right now on auction. Let's fucking go. And they're looking good too. Steffi with the collab, Mark with the collab. I'm sorry, I don't know everyone. I didn't know everyone, but I went through and followed because some of the artists that Laron has on here are crazy. Let me adjust this music so it's not blasting my ears off. All right. Baby Boy is probably my favorite. Check this out. 0.6 bid from Rom. And of course the Bills Boiz up at like 2 ETH. This one's gonna be hot. And it's only like a few hours in. You guys know how these things get at the end. Keep an eye on that for sure. Lorem didn't make the cut. Lorem, did you try? Did you try and make the cut? Were you talking to her? Oh man, we got a good day planned, guys. We are talking Boiz. We're talking frames. We're here with Atomic Form, the two founders, runners, owners, gentle people, Isabelle and Garrette. And yeah, they're going to talk to us about all sorts of stuff. Mostly what they're trying to do, also the future of NFT displays, because that's one of the things, right? When I was thinking about getting into the space, I was like, okay, there needs to be some way that you can show this off, right? So the ownership's great, but you want to be able to flex your ownership, whether, you know, otherwise that's where the right click save argument does come in, is like, okay, well, if you don't care that people know that you own it, then we'll just save it. But most people do. Most people care about that. So things like this, where you can verify what art is going on your display, I think is super important. Maybe next round, Lorem, maybe you'll get on that boy collab list. Like 100 sold and 25 are listed on the secondary market. Oh, on my collab with Laron? 25 out of 100? That means that like 25 are up for sale, maybe? I don't know what that means, actually. Anyways, we'll figure that out later. Let me taste this. This is pear lime kombucha. Oh, weird. This is one of those honey ones. I don't want the honey ones anymore. I'm not a big honey fan, actually. I don't know if that's blasphemous or not, but... Alright, guys. I hope you're having a good day. It's good to see you, Zen, Lorem, Kableen, Onre, Grumpy Apes. Zen, it's good to see you back. Everyone's in here. Guys, if you are interested at all in displaying your NFTs or maybe possibly getting one in the future, tweet this out. Go ahead and let's get as many people in here as we can, because Boiz chats keep thriving. We keep getting great guests on here, and we keep getting valuable information. Zen, it has been a while, man. It's good to see you. Yeah. I know the time zones are kind of tough sometimes, and I know people are busy, so no worries. But let's hop right into it. We got... Rye is out today. He's moving and stuff. But we've got Ryan, we have Isabelle, and we have Garrette. And so let's do it.
Yeah, Bow guys.
Hollow Boy is my favorite. Hey,
Hollow Boy?
Hey, all right, we're live.
Hollow Boy, is that
cool.
like a Lorona boy?
That's one of the 8 summer boys.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't been paying attention to their names because they're so bright.
Yeah,
Hollow Boy is great. Dude, Balgasm's a legend.
he is. He's been doing it for so long.
Right?
I mean, his poster series has just been like prolific in the not just the NFT space, just design in general.
100%. I remember following him a long time back, but then seeing him on like a design podcast that I listened to and being like, man, this guy's been doing it forever. Him and No Pattern, Chuck Anderson, been doing it for a long time.
Yes, we love Chuck.
We love Chuck.
Chuck's great.
We love Chuck.
What do you guys think of his new Photoshop, like minimalist Photoshop works? They're crazy.
I really like them a lot.
Yeah, I was talking to him about it because the color palette reminds me of a poster that I used to have called Endless Summer, like Search for the Perfect Wave, which is just this,
that movie.
like like this super pink orange, and it had that vibe, and I fell in love with it because of the like sentimental reasons behind that, obviously. But I actually really preferred when he took it like frame by frame and put them all together like that. I thought that was very nice.
For sure. I didn't know about him for a little bit because Twitter's been messing with my engagement. Like I think like everyone has. Like I want to see certain tweets from people and they just don't show up ever. But
Yeah.
But
Or on Instagram, it's a mess right now.
Instagram's so tough. Like if you don't pay, you're not getting to anyone.
Yeah.
And I hope that's not getting rolled in on Twitter, but I'm sure it's coming.
Well, I have to, I saw that Instagram is completely kind of repositioning themselves with, trying to compete with TikTok.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think what they're doing is that they're reformulating their algorithm to push video and something else. Yeah.
Okay.
Just, interesting. I just want the artists to keep posting stuff on there. That's all I know. It was originally made for artists, and so I just really hope that somehow benefits them. But
Yeah, and that's what it's.
I thought it was. Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just saying that's what it's good for. Like that's, I think that's what most people like from it.
I was gonna say I feel that it was made for people to take photos of their breakfast.
That's
what
true.
I used it for when I had it.
I bet you had some good breakfasts.
I had some beautiful breakfasts.
Perfect. Then everyone loved it.
Yes, I had a strong breakfast following for sure.
Man, I love to hear that because there's a lot of floundering breakfast people out on Instagram right now.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of charlatans for sure that think that they like breakfast, but they don't. And
ain't about that life.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think like any industry though, like the real ones know who the real ones are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know if you're eating a real breakfast.
Yeah. So you were the breakfast Instagrammer's favorite breakfast Instagrammer.
I wouldn't say that. Some have said that, but I would not say that. But I've been credited for many early morning meals.
I love it.
Just say that.
I love it.
Good balance of fats and carbs.
But right now you guys are doing not only breakfast, which I would assume you're still probably eating breakfast, but you guys run Atomic Form, right?
It's true.
When did you guys start that, and what's it all about? Give us the quick and dirty on it.
Isabelle, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to tag in.
Okay, I'll tag in because I actually discovered
tag in.
crypto art before Garrett did. So I was a journalist in the crypto industry about 4 years ago. It's actually how Garrett and I met. And the summer of 2018, I have a background in fine art and marketing, and so I discovered Nifty Gateway, and I was working in an office with some guys who were trying to figure out kind of like what NFTs were going to be in art, and I was writing articles about crypto art and the advent of CryptoKitties had obviously been incredibly popular, and then actual non-fungible token was created, and so people were figuring out what to use it for, and art was one of the use cases, and I was writing about it. I was like, this is really interesting. It makes a lot of sense. Art is just one of those industries that hasn't changed in hundreds of years. You know, every other industry have like seriously disrupted in the past, 50 or 60 years or whatever. And art was just one of those things that never changed. And I was like, this is super interesting. The art on here is terrible. Like Ryan and I were just talking about how in 2018, when we were both kind of looking at everything, I was like, this makes a lot of sense, but they just need better artists on here. And I kind of checked out from that whole the crypto art thing for a couple of years. And then last summer in quarantine, we were here at my parents' house, and Garrett was like, I discovered like Nifty Gateway, and I've made friends with some people in chat rooms who are crypto artists, and like, look at the art that's on these platforms. It's like, wow, that's really cool. It was really encouraging. And digital art isn't something that I had a lot of exposure to before. I had done more traditional mediums. And over the course of like 6 months, Garrett was like, really doing a lot of the collecting, and I was periodically checking in with him on it. And he'd be at dinner and be like, look at this piece that I found, and show me like his phone. And I'm like, that's great. He's like, yeah, I spent like $2,000 on it. And I was like, you're just showing it to me on your phone. That's kind of crazy. And, it just obviously spurred up this whole argument, discussion about like, what does it mean to just show a piece of work on your phone? What does it mean if you just download the JPEG and throw it up on like your TV? Because that's how we were looking at NFTs on a bigger scale. And we started to kind of think about different solutions in winter of 2020, again, in like the spare room of my parents' house. We were like working out of the closet because it was the only quiet place in the entire house because it was under construction. And that's where we kind of had the idea for the company. And we called our, the first call I think was Silva, right, Garrett? We called Silva being like, is this a good idea?
I don't know. I have a different recollection of events than Isabelle, I guess. But
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I suppose. But Jay and Silva and Phil and the Animus team. I mean, it's like, for me, it's different because it's like Phil and Silva and John and I were like playing Call of Duty like in August of last year. And I didn't know who Silva was. He was like, I'm a photographer, and I looked at his Instagram and he had like 200,000 followers, and I like I said, I only used Instagram for breakfast, and like I didn't know that like people did that, so it was crazy to me. And then in October, the first NFT at a major auction house, Portrait of a Mind by Robert Alice, was sold. And I was bidding on that, and I was really excited about that. And I was pretty much gonna drop like all of my liquidity on it. And Isabelle very famously was like, don't do that. And
don't spend all of your money on art. I'm sorry. I'm like, you gotta pay rent and stuff,
It seems like you guys have a certain dynamic with each other.
Well, we only met very recently.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then I guess the rest is accurate, because like the Nifty stuff started to take off, and I was only really on Nifty to support Silva. And he did his first drops with like Thank You X, and then everything started to get really popular. But I the first interaction that I had with NFT as like a thing wasn't artistic at all.
Yeah.
I was just very interested in it for actually intellectual property, for like patents and stuff, and the royalty streams that you could get off of that.
Yeah.
And then but either way, Isabelle's right. Like there was this conversation about collection versus exhibition, and it became laughable to spend like a Range Rover on a piece of artwork and then like not have any intent to like show it in your house. It's like kind of strange to me.
Yeah, it's a weird one. That was one of my stumbling blocks when I got into the space at first. It was like, okay, so this seems really solid and kind of, similar to what you guys were thinking, except for it's like, okay, well, some of the art's not that great, and it seems like it has a lot of potential, but it's clearly very early. And it's like, okay, well, how is this going to work? Because people want to show off their purchase. They want to show stuff off. Like, even if you go buy a pair of Jordans that you're not going to wear ever, like, you want to show them to people when they come over to your house. And so there needs to be a way to do that reliably, and something that people understand, like, oh, that's like verified.
Yeah, I mean, don't know, it just didn't make any sense to me that people were just using their laptops to show people their art. And it's one of the best parts of acquiring and collecting art is that you get to live with it and develop these memories and relationships around with it. So I don't know, that's something that I really love to do, is also to collect like smaller artists and stuff like that. So it became something that we saw a huge need in this space. And obviously there were periods of time where we're like, is this stupid? Like, do people really need this? But we started working on it in late 2020, and it just ended up snowballing into something really cool. And I feels very special too, because we worked so hard with other artists as well to develop a product that they would use too.
Yes.
Every step of the way we were like, is this something you would use? What kind of files type do you need? How many images do you want in a slideshow? Like, all of that other stuff was just very important. So I don't know. It ended
100%.
up being something really cool.
That, I believe, is going to be your guys' main advantage, because it's very clear that you guys are in the community and you're working with artists to figure out what they need to display their art the best, right? Because it's one thing if like a big TV company comes in and it doesn't support like half the files, like you're saying, or it's the wrong ratio, and everyone has to like change their art or like squish their art or something like that. It just becomes useless then.
Yeah, I think that's how we felt as well. I mean, even as we're having this conversation, I'm bidding on Nifty this thing, which is why I may appear a little absent. I'm also trying to
what are you bidding on?
I'm bidding on a piece by Brendan Dawes for the cube thing, the combinations, because Brendan or Mr. Dawes, I don't know him personally, so I'm not really sure how to refer to him, but he had at Sotheby's this like absolutely incredible piece for it was like ballerinas. It was like ballet, and it had this amazing scoring, and 4 or 5. It was called the Pandora Variations, and it had 4 or 5 different things. But yeah, and I'm also trying to actually sign up for Twitch right now.
Oh,
to like tell Lorem I love him, but like it won't work.
You just say it in the video.
yeah, just shout it out. Lorem's watching.
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm telling him right now. I'm like, I love you, Lorem. Like, because
I actually do love his work.
Lorem's great.
We do a lot. We have his prints in the house.
He doesn't love his work.
I think a lot of people. I think Lorem's actually a bit slept on, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like he does some really, really nice things.
I think Stalin didn't like his work the most. That was one of his quotes back in the day.
Regarding Lorem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like kind of a future casting thing. It was weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right? It's something
Wow.
that they just don't want you to know everything. They don't put everything in the history books. But
Unfair.
yeah.
Yeah. No, totally. But yeah, no, the community stuff is like ultra important. Actually, I would say it's vital. Pretty vital, because it's like my whole like career in crypto has been like ultra communal. I mean, just from I guess like day one. So it started as I would say for me like mostly like a service to the community. Like I was kind of like, if anybody does this, like that's great. But now I'm like, oh wait, like this is really cool. And Isabelle and I have worked super hard to make sure that like it's the best thing possible.
Yeah.
And I think that we'll have some, Isabelle, I mean, do you think that we'll have some like heat to drop soon, would you say?
I'd say we have some heat to drop coming months. We're working on making sure everything logistically works out. It's it's like a logistical nightmare, but in general it's really cool. I'm excited though. We're working with some really cool artists for some upcoming stuff.
Cool.
That's what I'm most excited about. I just like working with artists because, especially in this space, there's not a lot of ego, and at least like externally, you can have a little bit of ego yourself, and that's important. You should believe in yourself, but I just like the personalities of a lot of these people, and it's just really cool to see. So it's fun, and then you get to meet them sometimes. Like we met with, we met No Pattern, and that was like really cool.
That's
He's
cool.
super nice. Yeah.
That's like
And
that's a legend moment. That's a moment
I
you think about for a
know.
while. That's cool.
Yeah, that's like it's like one of my favorite parts I think about so far. What we've done with Atomic Form is that there are like a lot of stuff has to like actually get pulled through. Like we have to drag it across the finish line in the coming months, but there are a lot of like life bucket list items that I'm like starting to kind of check off professionally.
Yeah.
In the like to, before we announce anything, but it's really cool. I'm really happy and I feel really fulfilled in a way that like I never thought I'd be able to be. I studied art in college and I was like, yeah, I'm never going to do this like at my job. And then I get to talk to people who are super creative all day, and that's really awesome. But yeah, we're going to drop some, as Garrett would say, there is some heat in the future.
Nice.
Yeah, there's some heat. There's definite heat.
I think that's a great point, because I know a lot of artists, and I fall into this category as well, have the same trouble. They went to art school. They've always been creative. They want to just make cool stuff that looks beautiful and like add value and express themselves. And then you get out of college or you get out of high school or, whatever. And then how do I make money as an artist? Well, you can work really hard to schmooze every museum in town and try and get an exhibition and have 50% of your cut taken, or you can go be a designer, which is the path that I chose. And there's just there's a real gap between making the art that you love and expressing yourself as a creative individual and being rewarded for it, making a living at it, and doing what you love as a career. So I think that that's what's really exciting for me about this space and about the opportunity that NFTs present.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested to hear what you guys think about kind of the backlash from artists who are not in the NFT space, because I would say half the people I went to college with are like really, who are on the more techie side, are super pro NFT and crypto art. Like they get it, they think it's really interesting, it's exciting to them. And the other half just think it's like the grossest, most awful thing in the world.
Because of the environment?
I think it's a combination of the environment and not understanding what it really is.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to hear what your guys' thoughts are on that, because I see it a lot on Instagram, how people are like, oh, I can't believe, I would never buy an NFT. And I'm like, this is my actual job. Like, I don't want to get into it with you online, but it's just, it's weird, I feel like.
Yeah. Ryan, do you have some thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that really just comes from a lack of understanding of like what the core value of an NFT is. I think a lot of people look in and they see the environment stuff, which we're cleaning up. I think that that's not going to be an issue anymore, and that's really just like kind of a moot point to me. Honestly, there's so many things that are so much worse for the environment.
Oh boy.
And beyond that, it's like, I think just coming at it and saying, this is a JPEG and we're going to sell this for, tens of thousands of dollars. That doesn't comprehend very easily, I don't think. So I think it's very easy to come in and say, just look at it and say, that doesn't make sense. This is stupid. Like this, maybe even like this devalues they're going to say actual art, that's going to sell in a museum or a gallery or, an auction house. But I think that once a lot of people understand what it is, and I think the power of it, and I think the provenance is the biggest, like this extreme power that NFTs have in 100% always recorded provenance. There's never an action that goes unnoticed or unrecorded. Just that, I think that power, once that's like fully understood by everyone, I think some of that, hate goes away.
Yeah. I think
they're just haters.
Yeah.
I think people
they could just be haters that want to hate on it too.
Yeah, I think it's just hating, man. Because it's like as somebody that's been in crypto for like a long time, like I've been hated on like every year for like different things. Like people will just hate because it's like if you're just like into something that's new and you're like taking risks and the risks work off, people hate. And then if the risks don't work out, people are just dicks and are like, oh, well, you shouldn't have taken the risk. And it's like, what? Like, so I think people are just haters. I mean, because it's like,
and there's definitely those, they're just, being a troll to be a troll, and they'll move on to the next thing once a slightly bigger thing comes up to hate on.
Yeah.
Yeah, haters gonna hate, etc. I mean, the environmental stuff was insane. So I mean, I'm gonna just take a minute and address that actually because I work in that. I mean, I don't think that it's publicly announced, but I worked with a pretty significant auction house to do the offsetting for one of their NFT auctions, and it was pretty easy. And it's like, and people have like this insanely limited understanding of like how blockchains actually work. You know what I mean? And
Right.
like the blocks are mined no matter what. And I was trying to say that to people, and people didn't understand. They'd be like, by minting an NFT, you're actually stabbing a seal in the face. And it's like, well, not really at all. Like it's like the seals are getting stabbed no matter what. Like it's very interesting to me how little thought and education went into the environmental arguments, like in particular. Like it was really
Yeah.
jarring for sure because of how much noise it made. I mean, it was insufferable for a good month there.
Yeah, and to your
Yeah.
earlier point, I think they didn't think about it because, in my opinion, it's kind of a cope because they don't want to take the risk. It is risky and it is new and it's work to understand it. It's a lot of things. Being in the NFT space and being in crypto in general is very uncomfortable if you're not a very specific type of person that most people aren't. And so in order to handle that, a lot of people just don't dive into it, and then they figure out reasons why they were right to not dive into it. And
Yeah, people always people rationalize things like that
yeah,
in these crazy ways, and it's like, maybe don't. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that always reminds me of how actually our mutual friend that introduced Garrett and I used to make fun of us for being in crypto and make little jokes here and there because she's in finance.
Yeah.
Works at a very big trading desk, very important trading desk, and she now trades Bitcoin and Ethereum like for her job. And
but she doesn't have to understand it though. I think that's like the difference is that
that's
like
true.
people
That's true.
people like laugh about it. Like you can trade a futures contract for anything. Like literally anything. That is like the point of the futures contract is that you can just cash settle any esoteric bet. It could be coffee, but you don't have to be an agriculturalist to trade, coffee futures or something like that. And so it's like that's kind of still a problem in my mind, which is something that I endlessly complain about, is just like the dearth of education left, right, and center, and like the willingness of people to truly understand. So while it is true that this particular person, who's like actually a very bright person, thought that us being in crypto was dumb, and I was more into Ethereum than I was Bitcoin. I was actually really never into Bitcoin. It was like, it didn't make sense, right? There's like, there just weren't developed reasons. So
yeah.
I guess it's like noise, you know what I mean? It's a lot of noise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's why education for artists is so important on like kind of all fronts. I mean, especially as new platforms pop up under new chains and everything. I've been talking to a lot of people in this space about how do we educate artists, both on like the technology and also managing their own personal finances, because you don't get a BFA like know how to make a balance sheet. That's not your job.
Yeah.
That's very hard.
It's super hard and it's very important. Like last week we had, I would say, probably our most important talk. We talked with Rye's brother about taxes and finance, because he actually is a financial advisor. I don't remember what his letters are. I guess he has a billion of them, but he talked
probably CPA.
I think he was something besides a CPA, but
yeah, he said there was a couple. He had like 3 different letter titles that are on his LinkedIn.
But
that's nice.
Yeah, but he dropped a lot of knowledge, and I think helped a lot of people just start thinking about it, because if you don't, you're gonna hurt next year. It's gonna be bad, because they don't know what it's not like a established tax code for NFTs and for crypto in general. So if they don't know, they're gonna err on the side of getting all the money they can. And so you got to be as prepared as you can.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's something we've been figuring out for a couple of years. It's a bummer.
Oh my god. Okay, I didn't want to go here, but a lot of this stuff is actually pretty well rehearsed. I mean, it's like, you make something, you sell it, you taxed on the income. I mean, it's like I don't understand even still why people act like the taxes in crypto land are like confusing. The only thing that like I find confusing here is actually like the proof of stake reward. But I mean, that's just so far off topic that I don't even want to get there.
I
but,
think
like,
what's confusing to people too is that, if you have a Coinbase account and you download your tax report, it's not necessarily reflective of what you actually end up owing in taxes too.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that, first of all, most of the people in art NFTs are artists and don't have any idea how to do taxes. So Garrett, you're right. Like the taxes aren't that complicated if you know what you're doing, but they're super daunting to someone who does like just works a 9 to 5 and just hands in their pay stub with taxes to their accountant and stuff. And then
no, I'm just jaded because I've been doing this my goddamn life for the past.
It's fair.
He's Kaya certified. He's like knows all of this little specific laws and tax rules for a lot of stuff.
Wow, that's pretty sweet.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else you're gonna do is get ripped off by corporations and the government, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
if you don't know
that
what
is
you're
the
doing,
other option.
you're scared.
I feel that's totally. Like,
for sure. Well, let me pop up your guys' website real quick while we're talking, and I want you guys to explain because right now you're running the pre-order on your main flagship frame, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's called the Wave, by the way. That has a name now.
Oh, cool.
We're going to do a little bit of a rebranding effort in the future because this is a Shopify website that I made myself about 4 months ago. So it's pretty good for what it is.
I think it's fine for.
Yeah, there's plenty of like worse websites out there, especially in, such a new space with a lot of people just kind of throwing stuff together. I think it's pretty polished.
We're also licensing all of the artwork that you see on the website. So if there's an artwork on there, they're getting paid for their work in some way.
Oh, nice.
Because I saw someone using Beeple's artwork. It was a competitor using Beeple's artwork in the thing, and I was like, "There's no way he has the licensing." Like that drives me insane. So that's assignment.
But he doesn't need to because Beeple famously gives his work to the public commons. That's.
But it was an NFT. It was an NFT. It wasn't in the Creative Commons license.
All right.
All right. So you guys are running pre-orders, and then I've heard. I think Isabelle, you said this, that due to COVID, like the pre-orders are taking, like. They're like way more complicated than they should be, and it's a new thing, right? So the process is going to be pretty in depth, anyways, right? How are you guys dealing with some of those challenges?
Sorry, my parents are also moving furniture right above me. If you can hear that.
Yeah, I can explain, Isabelle, if you want to like mute.
No, it's okay. I mean.
Oh, it is. All right.
Yeah, unless is it really loud?
It's pretty loud.
Yeah. It's deafening.
Hey, let me mute it here.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, so the question was like, how is COVID affecting supply chain?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in addition to people dying, obviously, and like that slowing down many processes, the boats, big frigates that were ordinarily devised to move computer hardware all around the world are actually held up, giving, disaster relief. Right, so it's like a little has been like a problem, but I mean, COVID affected the world in like a million different ways, right? So it's like hard for me to really just poke at one of them. We've had other problems like there's a very famous semiconductor shortage for the past year. There's like a Wikipedia page about it that I like to send to investors and stuff just to be like, it's so serious. There's a Wikipedia page, and it's like a well-detailed Wikipedia page. It's not a stub. It's like a real page about it.
Is that what's going on with the graphics cards as well? Is that the same issue?
It's affecting it's affecting pretty much everything because everything is a computer now, right? So I mean, even GE and GE or GM, General Motors in Detroit are like, we just can't fucking make cars right now, gang. They're like, we just don't have the semiconductors, and that's kind of a trip because it's like you wouldn't ordinarily be like, yes, semiconductor, like the most important part of my truck, but it is alas the most important part of the truck. So
yeah, I mean, like,
there's been snags for sure.
Yeah, between that and like because of COVID, I was trying to text my parents. I don't know if you said this, Garrett, but like a lot of the shipping containers are kind of like spread out throughout the entire world because emergency supplies were shipped everywhere. Yeah, so basically, we're actually really lucky that we have a really incredible team of engineers that we work with too, who help us with a lot of logistics and are extremely conservative on their deadlines with us, which I really appreciate. So they're like, this is when it's going to be shipped, you know, assuming that everything takes, you know, an average amount of time. It's not going to be the fastest, but it's not going to be super delayed. So it is a bit of a bummer, but on the plus side, our software is coming in soon. So that's really important to us. Our aggregator should be done soon, as well as like our UX and UI demo. We're getting a demo frame into our office soon. So that's really exciting. But you know, it's like someone, I don't know if it was Garrett or somebody else who said this, but they were like, it's kind of like if you're in a business class and they give you a case study example of like, how do you solve this problem? It was like our actual life where it's like, there are no semiconductors for the next year available on the main websites. What do you do? And the answer is like, order them from Austria, order them from like all of these reputable sites that just happen to have stock for the exact kind that you need. And
you guys are over here playing Model UN with your with your NFT frames.
Yeah, exactly.
The more McKinsey studies, like there's a very famous one for Petrozuada, which is like it was just like this insane thing where everything went wrong with this deal, and they had to protect an oil pipeline from militants, and they had force majeure clauses, which of course means just like acts of God, and then you have to put all this insane stuff, and then there's like a, you know, COVID hit force majeure pretty hard. You know, people were like waiting for that one. I think Wimbledon actually was literally waiting for it. I think that they had some absurd pandemic insurance for Wimbledon, and they got paid like probably 100 million or something like that. I'm actually gonna Google it because it was very impressive. Like because the damage that it did to a lot of things was like crazy. 141 million pandemic payout because of COVID.
That's a lot.
So, yeah, that is a lot. That's a lot of money for sure.
It's crazy. Aren't there like certain clauses in contracts where it's like, unless it's like a natural event or like by the force of God or something like that, that's how it feels like this past year has felt. But I think we're doing pretty well, all things considered. I feel very optimistic about it, and I'm proud of ourselves for getting through it, because people with less tenacity than us probably would look at the current situation and be like, oh, it looks hard. I don't know if now's the right time to start it, but the pandemic was the right time to start it, because we were doing nothing in New York City in the winter in our apartment, and it was a good time.
I love it. And I don't know if it's all the extra time, but the product looks great, the website looks great, and as far as I know, I was chatting with you guys a little bit about it before we started the stream, but to my knowledge, it's the first frame that actually verifies your wallets and only will display NFTs that you own, right?
Yeah, that as far as we know. I mean, that was such a big thing for us, because actually Robert Alice at Christie's, who also curated Natively Digital for Sotheby's, said like the most important thing I think that anybody said to us when we were starting the company, which was like, when I see something on the frame, I want to know that the person who's displaying it owns it. And that was like the important part, which I think kind of comes back to that educational component, where you have those haters and you have people that say like, wow, I'm gonna go put a JPEG up, and it's like, well, actually we have this hash linked data structure called the blockchain that lets us know which one is what. So so we're pretty stoked on that, because that's like, I don't know. And we had somebody, I think it was like the Unstoppable Domains guys, they were like, we've been waiting for the flex factor. Like, how do we like flex? Like, this is how you flex.
That's exactly it. Yeah. And I've been thinking too, like you said, everything's up and public and available, right? So there just needs to be some protocols and some products that go and capture that data and then verify it for you. Like if Twitter had their verified badge, but it was like a colored circle around your profile picture saying that you owned your profile picture. You know, that kind of stuff is not far off, and it's completely available with the current, you know, information that's out there, and it'll change, take it to a whole nother level.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's something we actually, I don't know, there are some interesting ideas too about kind of seeing how different companies and projects are trying to explore that idea as well. I think it's known Origin or Super Rare. One of them is like rewarding you for being a collector and holding work as well.
Yeah, it's
I think
super rare.
Super rare, yeah. I think that's super interesting, and I think it's, you know, this is what I was, you know, I've been very excited about this summer. I mean, the market was like not super hot, you know, June-ish, and people were like, is it dead? And it was like, no, people are building. People are spending this time building the important tech that will actually create value in this industry. And, you know, we are one of those people, but I don't know, it's nice to see all that other stuff on there. It definitely motivates me to, you know, hold work on there too. And I don't know, there's different things that we could do as well within our own platform with that, but it's cool. You know, it's not very sexy to download a TIFF and display it on your TV, because we've done that, and it's not very cool.
Yeah, it doesn't have that
It does look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, like, speaking of that, I mean, like, to just, you know, talk about how awesome we are, like,
Go for it.
Really, yes, please. We considered really everything, right? Because it's like, you know, we wanted to make sure, like, people said, like, wow, like, can't you do that with Mural, right? And it's like, you know, and then it turns out that a lot of these existing things are very bad for, they can't always render like the frames per second. So we had to maximize the CPUs and like all of our hardware. Like, I think it's important for anybody listening or any skeptic or whatever, like everything on what we've designed is custom made, like from the ground up. Like the software and the hardware is all, well, the amalgamation of the hardware. Obviously, we are not in the, you know, business of developing microchips. That would be, you know, very dramatic. But has all been done with the intention to give like the highest resolution experience in 4K IPS LCD, and have the highest frames per second, and just have like the coolest experience. And that includes like our weird like provenance button, which is like a literal button you press that pulls up the contract data, the current owner, and stuff like that, and then and develops a QR code that actually brings you to the collector's page, or like subdomain or /URL on Atomic Forum. So that's like, you know, our whole thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we want to take advantage of like the opportunities afforded to us by the technology in every sense, and also that's been really like incredibly exciting, and the feedback from the community on that has been just like so nice, and like it feels very nice that people like appreciate that and are stoked on it, and that it's
Well, you guys are providing something that's very much needed, and you're doing it well, and it really shows that you guys are taking into consideration so many different things. I saw the QR code on your guys' mock-ups and stuff, but I didn't realize it was a button that you press that like generates it. That's really cool.
Yeah, so we're terrible marketers, it turns out, and so it's like, and I think
Been busy making sure that it like actually will exist.
It's been so much work to just like, I mean, like secure the hardware and you know, pay for the injection molding and pay for like all this stuff that I don't think either. I mean, Isabel's like a logistical genius. Like I like definitely like the division of labor is very like clear. Like I cannot keep track of things. Like I'm very disorganized and like weird. And Isabel's like incredible at making sure that the trains run on time. And if not for that, I mean, the company wouldn't exist, because the logistical operations of securing things and making sure that things are delivered to where they need to go, like especially like as a startup, like I don't think people understand how crazy it is to be a startup that's doing anything in hardware. Like I challenge you to name another one. Like there's like two in crypto. There's like Ledger
Right.
and like
Browser.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like KMS, you know what I mean? And that's like a whole thing. And like now we have this whole like digital rights management era and like artistic era of like culture, which is always, by the way, like what has kept me in crypto. Like in 2015, when I was getting into Ethereum, I was on Poloniex, and the thing was called the Troll Box, and it was so wild to me how rooted in internet culture everything still was. So like when I was mining Ethereum, there was this guy Claymore that made a better miner than the Ethereum Foundation, and one of the guys that made like the SIA, this is some like ancient history, this is so like weird, but like the guy that made the SIA Ethereum dual miner, which would literally make like GPUs explode, was like this, like furry that lived in a basement, no exaggeration, named Wolfo, and like I feel like it's like people forget like how much crypto has existed and flourished from people being able to be whoever they want to be and do whatever they want. And I think that we're hitting like we're batting 1,000 on that with this like NFT wave for sure. And that's I think what makes me the happiest about it. So like platform wide, like we support, like obviously we support MetaMask and Ethereum, duh. And then you know, very like aggressive on our roadmap is actually Hen, because Hen is like Hen looks the way that the internet feels, and that's like super important. Like and actually Chuck and I were talking about that, because it's like, you know, it's not all like I hate to say, and this is with all the love in my heart, like it's not all people that are graphic designers or like people that like had large followings on social media for photography or for whatever already. It's there are, you know, so many people that just sat in their bedrooms making weird high res renders of sushi, and like that's tight.
Yeah,
like that's just as valuable to me. So like I don't care if it's at Christie's or Sotheby's or Phillips. I don't care if it's on Hen. I don't care, you know, because it's like ultimately crypto was born out of these cryptographer technologist geniuses, and then people who are literally insane, like on 4chan and stuff like that. And so it's very important to me that like all of that is respected, because this as a culture is like one of the most important things like in my life, easily.
And Tezos has become a really important platform for crypto art as well, which is pretty funny if you had looked at it like a couple of years ago. So we want to be able to make sure people have that opportunity for that. Also, like the art is just really good on Hen.
It's surprisingly good.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And art is subjective or whatever, but like what we did for a period of time is that we'd throw like $30 into a Temple wallet, and Garrett and I would just sit down and like buy art together. And it was so cheap. It was great. And a lot of it, I'll like go back and look at it and be like, oh man, I'm really happy I was able to get that, because it's not available anymore, or the artist really took off or whatever. And it's just great. The infinite scroll, I just like it. Obviously Hen has like other UX issues to figure out. Like people can't name themselves. I had a really hard time naming myself. I know Chuck also had a really hard time naming himself.
You have to send a Google form in.
I think they updated that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's a lot easier now. You can just go into the settings.
Nice.
Yeah, I had to do it on ENS and everything anyway, but it's like whatever. But I mean, what's really interesting, right, is like, you know, like there was a artist, Cell-O, like, and he makes this really crazy. I don't know how to. I wish I could pull it up. I don't know how to like show it to you, but you know, he did this.
You can send a link in the chat if you want me to put it up on stream.
Yeah, let me do that actually, because he's definitely like a favorite of ours, and like he was really nice. And one day, like, it's funny because the Hen community is so small, so it's like one day he just like was like, who is, like, he posted my wallet and was like, who is this, like, why do you buy all my stuff? And like, and we became homies, and now he like releases on Known Origin and stuff. So it's cool to be able to like not scout talent or anything like that, but like find things that you just like a lot, and then it turns out it's actually just really good. And yeah.
Thrifting, kind of, where you weed through a lot of the stuff, and the stuff that you find is like really good.
Oh, totally. Like you buy some stuff just because you think it looks nice, and then it's like, oh wait, this is like a limited edition Gucci run from 1985, and it's worth like 70 racks, and you're like, what?
Yeah, and then you get to see what all the other artists are collecting. That's how I find a lot of my art. I see
That's
a piece
a
that
big
I like,
one.
I go, you go to the creator's profile, see what they've collected. I found so much good stuff that way.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's great.
That's one of the things of their UI. It's just like, it's right there. It's so easy just to, oh, this is a dope artist. What are they buying?
Yeah. I mean, what are you looking at right now? In fact,
who are you guys looking at?
On hand?
Or just anywhere. I mean,
oh man,
like, what is the top of your mind right now? I mean, I've obnoxiously been. I will actually put this into the Discord just for lols. Like, have been obnoxiously trying to like win this because I really like Brendan Dawes, but I'll probably just like tap out soon.
I've been seeing you go back and forth every minute.
Oh really? Okay. Yeah, because
I'm showing it on stream.
Yeah, there we go. Because I don't even know who this guy is, but like he absolutely like aped into like this this like recent collection. Even though the penguins were cool, how much did the penguins sold for 2,800? That's kind of whack. I actually really like the penguins.
The penguins were cool.
Yeah, the penguins were cool. Penguins were slept on for sure.
Yeah.
I liked that one a lot. I don't know who Gavin Shapiro is, but I really liked that one.
Gavin Shapiro's pretty big. I think he kind of runs in the same circles as like Fuck Render and Malvita and like that gang.
He's definitely.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
But does he have a boy?
I don't think he does, and so that makes him irrelevant. If you don't have a boy, I don't want to talk to you.
I am becoming a boy maxi for sure.
Right? Once you get a boy, it's just like intoxicating.
Yeah.
They're so charming. I still have yet to see another collectible or NFT that's as charming as a boy.
Yep. Yeah. I agree. By all means.
What you got, Ryan?
What? Oh no, I was saying there. I agree. There's none. I think Garrett, you're the quickest collector of what it was like 5 or 6 boys. I don't think
like the boys.
Different boys. I don't think anyone's got them that fast.
Yeah, you snapped on them.
I did what I had to do.
Yeah. And then thank you so much. I can't even begin to say.
Oh, you're the one that I gave the boy to?
Yeah, it's this Ryan.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so for those of you in chat who don't know, Garrett went on a shopping spree and I think bought like 5 or 6 boys within like an hour.
I hate saying that. I hate it. I love it. I love the boys, but I hate being like, I bought a boy and gave it to Ryan. It's like, yikes.
Yeah, that one might give you some trouble if you don't contextualize it.
Yeah, like Googling that. Like, I'm not Googling that.
Make sure it's like the quote pulled for an article or something like that.
Yeah, the hashtag was problematic in the early days, but I think it's a little bit better now.
Wait, was it really?
Oh, well, on Twitter, like you get a lot of porn if you type in hashtag boy. And so Lerone was out here trying to sell NFT art like of quirky sculptures, and there was a lot. It was mixed in a mixed bag, we should say.
No, things like that
cleaning it up though.
No, I mean, like, hang on. Sorry, what?
I'm just gonna say, if you don't know what you're looking for, like the style of art, the porn could be art. You don't know. There's a lot of creative nude art out there. You never know.
Yeah.
Hey, porn is always art.
Well,
there's art. It can be.
There's a whole platform coming out just around erotic art right now.
Really?
I forget what it's called. But I saw some tweets about them. But that's all they do. Like if you want to apply to get on there, your portfolio has to be all that.
Wow, really?
Interesting. Yeah. That's really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Well, there's like some kind of Japanese style of erotica. I think it's called shunga, shunga, which is like, I don't know why they pioneered that or why that's a thing. I guess. I guess like the Indians have Kama Sutra, like everybody, like sex, like people have been having sex for all time, obviously, right? So. But it's like, interesting that would like have its moment in like NFT subculture.
Aestheticizing that, yeah. Well, it's interesting. It's kind of the perfect place to do that, though. It's like, especially if the platform is meant for that, the censorship is good, and crypto benefits it too. I mean, if you're doing, you don't want to be using like a high risk payment processor where they're like, we're taking 50% of all of your funds too. So I don't know. I think that's interesting. That might be like the next. I mean, there have been a couple of projects that have tried to tackle this, and a lot of them were from a couple of years ago, and like the ICO boom, and a lot of them don't exist anymore. But I still think that crypto is the place to help entertainers actually make meaningful money off of like residuals, and NFTs might be that, but we have to restructure some things because you can't have like a legit long video.
For sure. Yeah, there's file size limits, definitely. Are you guys gonna have on your displays? Are you guys gonna have a mode where like beads come down over the display and you have to part the beads like the old VHS stores, and then you can show your NSFW NFTs?
Oh, like a weird back alley, like.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Remember the section that was always like it had beads in it, and then you had to like go back in and it just smelled terrible, and there was always one guy with like a leg in there.
Why are they always beads?
I don't know.
I actually can't believe that you're saying this right now. This is so okay. So there's two things I want to say. Can I bring a cameo on here really quick?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Is it gonna get us kicked off of Twitch?
I know. There's two things. Hey Nick. All right, come over here first.
Oh God.
There's two things.
Round of applause for Nick.
Hey Nick.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Nick, say hello to
Hey,
say
Nick.
hello to all right, so there's two things. One is that all right, so there's these are called Boiz. And so we were talking about googling like how to buy boys, and like like you get like porn on like Twitter and stuff.
Oh no.
Well, do you remember what you googled when you worked at the newspaper and back in Florida? Do you remember the specific band that you looked up?
I'm intrigued.
No, I don't remember.
You
really don't remember it?
Oh,
you
no.
really don't remember? No. You really don't. The band was called I Love Japanese Hardcore. And, yeah, and
they're sick. They're really cool.
They're a really good band, but
it won't bring you.
It's hard to search for.
I forgot about that.
So like Nick had a job at a newspaper, and he Googled I Love Japanese Hardcore
At work.
and and was just looking for the band. All right.
Nice.
Thank you,
Excellent.
Nick.
Weird tangent.
That's so good.
Poor Nick. Just came
Man.
over to hang out.
Poor Nick. Yeah, I guess so.
That's so funny. I had a mishap at work one time where with my friends, I had a joke where I would make new folders on my computer that would like, don't look in here for real, or like, just dumb stuff like that. And I did one as a joke that was just like porn in all caps and then XXX and like just so many X's. And I accidentally, I was editing video for a company, and I went in and I had to like go through my files to like find a project for them, and it was just that, and I didn't realize it was stuck up there. So there's all sorts of mishaps that can come with that. That's why I was wondering about the beads, honestly, because like you don't want your NSFW NFTs to be shown to the kids unless you press the bead button.
That's actually very interesting. I mean, I had never considered if we would need some kind of censorship function.
Parental controls thing
on the website. Yeah.
That's a good question. I mean, especially if you think about it, if you do have art. I mean, my parents have some spicy art, but when I was a kid, they definitely put that like in a back closet that we would find.
Yeah. Because
when you're a kid, you just want to dig through everything that your parents have.
Sure.
For better or for worse, but that's a good thought. I mean, if you're a person with kids, you don't necessarily want that. So maybe that's a function. We'll have a parental control thing where it's like the spicy folder.
I hope you don't have that. Yeah, but there are...
Thanks, Garrett.
Well, are you
we'll
guys
talk about this offline?
For real though? Are you guys gonna have like a piece of software where you can choose which you want to show at any given time, like profiles?
Right. Okay. All right, I'm gonna give you. Do you mind, Isabel? Can I hit these people with the UX? By the way, the user experience. So So it's going to be very nice. Okay, so you're going to pull up to an atomic form subdomain or /URL, right? So it'll be like orphan.atomicform or atomicform/orphan.com/orphan. And you'll be prompted to pull up your MetaMask. You sign a message, right, saying like doop doop, and then you connect. And then similar to Rarible or OpenSea or anything like that, you'll have your full flow, and you select. I think we'll probably release with either 3 or 5, assuming they're not huge, right? Pieces, and then those go live on your screen, and the screen queries the wallet periodically to make sure that what you're referencing is still in the wallet. And if it's not, you can't display it anymore, because you don't own it anymore, or you moved it out of your wallet. You might still own it, of course. You custody it in a different wallet or something like that. I don't remember what your question was, but
I'm just going to go over the UX and UI. But yeah, basically you can control... you can control what's on your screen via our web app, which is just going to be like your profile. And then using the buttons on the screen, you can turn it on and off. You can change the image on there. You can do a slideshow mode. And through the web app on the actual website, you will be able to change, like, do you want a mat around your image? Do you want it to fill the screen? Do you want it to crop in a certain way? Like all of these different things. But for us, it's also important to have buttons on the screen because stuff goes wrong. Right. And nothing's worse than being like, okay, for some reason can't, it's just nice to be able to turn off the screen at the end of the night with a button. That's just me. But also you can pull up the QR code, the name of the artist, the title of the work, and that kind of information as well, using like the buttons in the web app and stuff like that. So we wanted to make it so that you could actually display it like a piece of art that you would just, own in your actual home.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm so excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we need
to... and there's some pretty crazy stuff that people have like brought up, and like that I won't leak all the alpha, but I was talking to some guys that are making a video game the other day on a chain, and we were talking about how like, so there's actually 2 or 3 things that I'm really excited about, like having like the window into the metaverse into your house, right? And one of them was that we were talking about like how sick is it going to be like when you're playing a blockchain game and you collect something really rare, right? Like you get like the cool, like I think that if you've ever played a video game, sometimes you have an item that you just super like treasure,
right? Like
you never sell to a merchant, no matter how bad you need caps or gold or whatever game you're playing. And you'll just be able to like acquire it and display it like immediately after. And like that's super cool to me. Like that, like as somebody that's been playing video games like their whole life, like you can bet that like if I would have had something that I could put on my wall for like collecting 120 stars on Super Mario 64, I would have done anything for that. Right. I would have done anything. And so that's like extremely, extremely exciting.
And eventually it might pair with like Steam achievements or Xbox achievements. Or if you 100% a game on PlayStation, your trophy like actually shows up on your display.
Yeah, I think that very briefly Pokemon did that. Like if you collected all the Pokemon, you could mail in like something that you could do, but I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm just really excited. I don't know what to say.
It's so exciting. There's I would say like, oh, go for it, Ryan.
No, I was just thinking it's so exciting. I mean, just all of the possibilities that are right here with you guys and this technology. I think it's incredibly exciting, and I can't wait for the opportunity if I have one to get it and to use this.
Well, so I mean, I would really love it to open the floor up a little bit or whatever to like questions that you guys might have or that chat might have about the product or about us or I mean anything. I just ramble. You know what I mean?
That's a great idea. Yeah, if anyone in chat has some questions, just drop them in chat and we'll make sure they get covered. I know I wanted to circle back a little bit. Garrett, you were starting to, seems like you were starting to get excited when we were talking about file size. Do you guys have something particular with your frames that has to do with file size?
I mean, we've thought of everything, honestly. We thought about as much as we could.
Sure.
You know, the everything from like which files, you know, will support from WAV to MP4 to SVG, and also what the limits are going to be. So I think it's like, this was kind of an interesting problem, right? Because the data for the file size on IPFS is, you're able to query that and you're able to know that. So by having the aggregator and then selecting, you're kind of like adding megabytes to a bucket, and then ultimately like you will have like limits there because it's not a casting situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think that I don't know. I think that that's just a trip for me personally. Like thinking about like how like. I mean, like, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but like the weight of all of the electrons that make up the internet is like a strawberry. And like the idea about like the internet having weight is like a insane concept to me. Or like there's like a really interesting philosophical question, not really it's like an electrical engineering question, which is like, does a hard drive weigh more when it's full versus when it's not? Like when it's full of data, and the answer is yes, although it's like it's such a little amount that it's like it doesn't matter. And yeah, so I guess I got excited because I think that those things are interesting.
I don't know how hard drives work. Do the physical ones, do they scratch off the hard disk? Or
What do you mean, like a non-solid state?
like a like a non-solid state, like one of the old back and forth hard drives? How do those work?
Yeah, I think you just throw electrons onto it.
Oh, okay. So it's an additive electron thing.
Yeah, because it's data.
Yeah.
So there's like actual storage.
Ah,
But
okay.
that's like crazy. Like
That's-
I've like totally like fucked with people at conferences have been like, how much does the Bitcoin blockchain weigh? And they like to me because it's like such a stupid question. But like,
But it's a non-zero amount. That's crazy to think about.
it is non-zero. It is non-zero. I mean, it's like very small. I mean, you know, we take electrons to have no mass anyway when we, you know, do chemistry, but
Sure.
but you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure chat asked about that naturally.
Lorem actually came in with a question. He said, will the frame have speakers, or is there a way to hook speakers up to it? He's thinking about Thank You X and Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, Isabel's a product lord, so
Yeah.
please hit it.
So we're gonna have Bluetooth connectivity for you to be able to connect your speakers to the frame.
Nice.
This was like one of the first things that when we were talking with some of our artist friends about sound is that it was a must-have. And so we went through like 3 or 4 iterations of the frame where we're like, how can we build speakers physically into it? And it was a little bit of a nightmare because aesthetically it looked weird, or like if the sound came out of the back, what would that do to the sound quality? Like if you're listening to Hans Zimmer, you don't want it to be bouncing off the wall and then back or like around to you and stuff like that. And our first solution was just, let's start with Bluetooth, and then, you know, maybe in the future, if we want to also provide some kind of like aesthetically pleasing speaker that you can place like underneath it, then that's it. But we wanted people to have the option to have sound. So, you know, I've seen what people have done actually with murals, which I think is a good solution, where they just have like speakers like up like that, so that if you're looking at it, you are surrounded by like the noise. But that's our solution for it right now. Potentially other more creative solutions to have sound and speakers built in, maybe to come.
Maybe to come. I mean, I would say that like, you know, the visual aspect is so much more significant than the audio aspect for these that like it, you know, and also, you know, it adds I mean, just from going through the situation of like developing this is like, you know, it adds weight, it adds electricity, it adds load to the whole thing, and you know, ultimately people take their like I can guarantee you know more people that care more about how their music sounds than how their TV looks. So it's probably
I'm one of them.
Yeah, like audiophile stuff is like a real thing. But Isabel, actually, with your permission, like, can I drop into the Discord to share on the chat just kind of like what the back of the thing currently looks like? Just because like we got like some very nice product renders in the other day. So
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna do that, and then basically complain to you. This is an exclusive, actually.
Hell yeah. You heard it here first.
You always
Indeed.
do.
Yeah. Especially after we told our friends, we're like, don't share this with other people. We're like, let's give it to the entire world.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I deferred to Isabelle on that, actually. I said, if you want to upload it.
Well, right now
That's all
the
good.
right now
Like,
the
you do not
entire world
understand.
is us 4 and plus 15. So
Very chill.
so we're good. We got the inside crew.
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna share 2 things. I'm gonna share upload one called For Orphan, which is like just a really nice photo of like the back of the frame.
Okay.
Just while we're on the topic of speakers.
It's like,
and just, like, how
it
we designed
actually, that is what it's actually going to look
Okay.
Yeah, that's final.
from the
That's final.
manufacturer.
Yeah, and I don't have the Twitch thing open, so I'll probably just open it.
I'm on the yeah, I got the actual photo right now and that looks slick.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. Isabelle, do you want to
Great.
talk about the swivel and all this other stuff? I mean, we have so much stuff on this.
I know, it's pretty crazy. I mean, like, our engineers did such a good job. Like, you can see on the top, there's like vents for heat and air to escape so that it never overheats. I mean, like,
Yeah.
so basically the back of our stuff is custom tooled, and it has like a mount that you drill it onto the wall. It's flat onto the wall, and you just slide it in so that the little disc on there
Mhm.
just slides into the mount, and it rotates pretty seamlessly every 90 degrees. Like, it'll click in.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that you can rotate from portrait to landscape, because obviously one of the beautiful things about this is that you could interchange the artwork super easily.
Yeah.
And the cable management is pretty nice as well. There's like a slit on the left side that you can see. That's where you can just like rope the cable down as well. You can also, like I've been telling people, just like, a lamp or a sconce, you can hardwire this into the wall. It's actually probably what we're going to do in our apartment, so that we can have like a seamless look. Or you can do whatever you want with the cable management, tape it down to the wall.
Can you enhance the image on the side? I noticed you were enhancing some images. Actually,
Enhance.
on the left, towards the left, that's actually what the little slit thing for it's on like the far left.
There we go. Can see it over here a little bit.
Yeah, we got some
Enhance.
HDMI action too, just in case you want to use it as like an actual thing.
Mm.
You put the cable in it, and I don't know, that's cool because I don't know, real nerds.
That's on all 4 sides too. It's like
Oh,
the
is
top,
it?
bottom, left, and right.
That's
yeah.
nice.
so that you can do that.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
wanted this to just be like the most versatile product possible, because like it's a really dynamic, industry and environment. Like, your art is really, you can do whatever you want with it as long as you own it. And we wanted to make sure that you could pretty much do whatever you wanted with the actual hardware. But we're really happy with how it looked. And that's Ryan's piece. We bought this piece from Ryan and we licensed it from him as well.
Nice.
It's super beautiful. And it's in the, 16:9
Okay.
ratio. So it's super pretty.
Yeah, I think
Hold on.
Got a
that's
couple of,
one thing that I really would like to see is like a standard. Like, hey, I have A1, A2, A3 paper, and it's the same everywhere. I would love to see a standard for digital formats. 16:9 is going to be one of them, right? But like, it'd be really nice if there was like a system that everyone knew their stuff was going to look good on.
Yeah.
that's the tough part.
Oh, the lag between the Twitch and the Discord is giving me such a it is, wow, what a trip. Also,
Yeah.
wow. All right. Anyway, so Rouston54 is asking questions, and I'm amazed that people on the internet are asking questions. It says, "I need a square screen. Will they be making a square one?" The answer is yes. But we need to raise a lot of money, and like we're kind of in the process of doing that because we'd like to raise for that.
Our goal eventually, sorry, really quickly, our goal eventually is to have as many different aspect ratios as possible.
Okay.
But actually, you know what I'd like to point out? I'm gonna throw some flame right now. I'm gonna flame the 1:1 aspect ratio because we have I'm gonna put something up actually because I can. I'm gonna send you something because we thought about this and we made it so that you could have a 1x1 up on this 16:9 screen via matting and like customize the matting around it, and it actually looks really nice. And
that's a good solution.
Okay, yeah, and I would like to pull that up because like more things are in variable like variable more images are in variable, what is the word I'm looking for, aspect ratios than 1x1. Like 1x1's actually like we get it a lot, but only because we don't have it, I think, not because like it's like common. No, I don't find
I really originally wanted 4 to 5 aspect ratios because obviously that's how a lot of like traditional artwork is formatted, and we explored like custom cutting the glass, and that was like prohibitively expensive, and you know, for right now this is
OLED.
they were like, that will be millions of dollars to custom cut that because you need to order like a lot of volume, and we were like, you know, maybe not right now, maybe in the future. But what's really cool is we've had artists approach us saying, I want to make custom work that's 16:9 for you guys for the frame so that it will just like really easily go on there. I see the picture that you shared.
It looks good.
Would there be an option to kind of maybe permanently display the, you know, certificate of authenticity, you know, in the mat as well, you know, to kind of match the space perhaps?
We can do that. Yeah, that's okay.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that would be really nice too for some of those kind of odder sizes. I know I work in 1x1 a lot, and a lot of maybe even wider than 16:9. You know, like 23 or 2.34 by 1 or whatever. So like animal film.
Well, for gallerists and so on, we actually did make kind of a different product that I'll send a photo of and let Isabelle like riff on, because I think that this is actually like her like passion, or really, because it's like that she mentioned she has the like fine art background, and this is a thing. And so I'm just gonna drop it actually into the Discord, and Isabelle can riff on it. Is that cool actually, Isabelle? Do you mind? Sure.
I also see when holographic presentation tech. I don't know. I can't wait for that as well. And I want a 1-to-1. It's definitely on our timeline 100%, especially because a lot of the original artwork in the NFT world is 1-to-1. That's actually, you know, pretty important to us. But
I think if I think if you have the budget, I think you guys have or if you're on a budget, your guys' solution's fantastic. It looks great with the mat, and it you know, it looks really nice, and I think it's probably the best, most elegant solution I've seen. But I personally would just love a little 1x1 boy, or, you know, like one of my rotating through my collectibles, just like sitting on my desk or something, you know. That would be
size screen.
Yeah, Isabelle could like drop some heat on kind of the custom things that we're doing, and like what this is, you know, and, like,
what is this?
and everything. Yeah, what is it? I don't know.
This is actually a product that we're releasing in September. This is like some new heat stuff, basically. So this is called Photon. It's like Chromecast for your NFTs. It connects to the same aggregator page that you'll have as well. So it'll be like atomicform.com/orphan. And I think it's via Bluetooth or HDMI, you can connect your basically your page to any screen that accepts Bluetooth or HDMI, which is really exciting. It's the same UI and UX as our display, but this is our lower price point item. It's going to be, I think, $180. Except the peach is not going to be on there. It's just going to be completely white. This was a mock-up.
Damn.
But that should be coming out in mid-September to late September. I
like the peach. That's so good. That's really exciting. And so that will that will verify, and then you can use your TV or whatever. But you can actually have it verified.
A lot of galleries actually wanting to buy it from us, which is really interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's nice for the gallerists because you're able to just like be like, oh, I need for some reason a 7-foot OLED, and then you can spend 50 racks to make that, whereas it would cost us 20 million to mass produce them, and then you're able to do that. Zen Damage says peach is cool. We have a lot of cool colors actually.
Don't drop them yet. That's
yeah,
another. Stop dropping heat. It's too hot already. Yeah, the peaches. Yeah, but we ended up just going with white. It's a little off-white, but in the future we want to do like artist collaborations with these, and like also with frames as well, and have people paint them and stuff like that. Oh, another thing about our display is that the frame is magnetized, so it's actual solid wood, but it comes with magnets on it, so you can like snap it on and off the frame super easily to interchange it, because we'll be coming out with like a black frame and darker wood, whatever you want. So we want to be able to do like cool collaborative projects.
You can take the wood off the sides with magnets.
Yeah,
so it's like one solid piece.
Oh, and you just pop it off. That's so cool.
And you can sell individual, like just the frames separately, so you can kind of just like change the way you want it to look on a given day. I love that.
That's awesome.
Aspirationally, we want to have like commemorative frames done by artists in the space, and
right.
That can
the frame can match the piece.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
because
cool.
it's like there's a really nice opportunity to have like a connection with any artist via that. It's nice. I sent in Discord like the full.
Should have put up though.
Got another one.
I have one of our engineers taking it on and off actually.
Oh, cool.
We do that actually.
I think this is so cool. This gets me so excited because it's like the next step, and that's what I think we all know that we've needed is like, okay, when I walk into a room and I see an Atomic Forms frame, I know that anything displaying on that is going to be owned and legit, That's just cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how we feel too. That's like incredibly important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got the blowout here, got the back, the mount, the LCD. That's cool. I really like the idea of having swappable frames.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
me too. Because of course, when you have a piece of artwork, you get the frame custom to whatever you're showing. And if you have like a nice important piece, or like if you just have 3 frames that will go with like everything, it's nice.
Yeah. Are you guys gonna do one that's gilded and about like 8 inches wide on every side, so you can do some like Baroque NFTs?
Got to display Divine Boy somehow.
Right.
That's true. That would be actually pretty fun. Do like a limited run, and like they're real wood, so I'm sure we could find someone. Being based out of New York, we could like find a workshop in the Hudson Valley or something that like.
Oh yeah, like some 5th generation Victorian framer in Bushwick, like.
Yeah.
It's like my family's been doing this for generations, and it's super beautiful, and it can't be super heavy because it's on with magnets, but it's real wood, so it has some weight.
Yeah, that's
actually
awesome.
A funny idea. Yeah.
Well, maybe you'll do an artist collab with someone just crazy enough to make it work. Maybe like Bill or someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the hope.
Yeah.
We have some people in mind that we love to do and just paint the frames themselves, because that's really special. I think.
Yeah, I love the idea of the frame kind of like matching the art.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a bespoke piece for sure.
Yeah, and it really becomes a whole thing. If you're spending thousands of dollars on the artwork, why not? Why not a frame too? Just to give it that much more depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to the artist what they charge for the actual frame, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
It is nice, it's like a nice, nice.
We'll know that we've like made it when we find one of those custom frames on like StockX or something, selling for like $1,000. That'll be the success.
Yeah. It'll happen. It'll happen for sure. The Chromecast type product that you guys haven't, what was that called again? I'm so sorry.
Photon.
The Photon. That's really cool. I think that's going to be very important. Because that's part of the reason why Hen has taken off so much, right? Is because ETH art got to a point where your average person just couldn't buy something cool that they wanted. The prices were so high, and then Hen comes along with like 0 gas fees, and people are just tossing work up there for like $10, and it's like, oh cool, now I can actually buy art from people who I like. So, and then I think that's probably your consumer base for the Photon as well, is you know, the everyday person and everyday artist. I think that's great.
Yeah, I mean,
all that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think about like all of the student artists who are like, you know, it's like, or people who aren't making a full-time living on their own art. It's important to have products that, I mean, $180, it's not super cheap. I think Chromecast, which obviously is a completely different product, sells for like 40 or something like that. But it's important to have some variety of price points, especially because, you know, Wave, which is the display, is going to be $1,500. We're going to raise the price once the pre-sale is over. So, you know, it's not cheap. It's definitely a great bang for your buck to display all of your crypto art on there. We think it's great, but it's like buying a laptop or something. It's a little bit of an investment. So we wanted to have another option. And what's really interesting is that Photon has kind of become a surprise. Like we haven't even launched or announced it yet, but you know, even the people that we've talked to are like, we're doing a big show with someone. Can we buy two, even though they're not developed yet? And we're like, no, unfortunately not. So for now, we're doing like bespoke solutions, which has been really cool. So I'm excited for that. That's like a product that I'll probably give like my younger sister or something in LA so that she can just do that. Because I don't think she has the wherewithal to drill in like a TV basically into her bedroom.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's probably a little complicated.
So 100%.
Yeah. Nice.
Same here, because I want to put stuff up on my projector.
Right. Yeah, right behind you.
Yeah.
Stuff going on.
Yeah.
That's why we wanted to give people the flexibility, because it's like it would be weird to be like, yeah, you need to buy this screen if you want to use our thing, our platform. So
yeah, I think it's an awesome idea, and you got to think about it too. That's, I mean, in my opinion, that's pretty cheap in order to verify an original art piece. Like if you're getting into actual like original art. Oh, we lost Garrett. If you're getting like actual original art, you're usually looking at a fairly decent chunk of money. So seems like a nice budget option, especially in the emerging space and like how much ETH is and stuff. So
yeah, exactly. Who knows where the space is gonna go? I think Garrett's back.
Yep, got him.
There it is.
What happened?
I dragged something where it wasn't supposed to go.
That's all right. We made it back.
Yeah, we're good, man.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. So I think we're probably just about to wrap up. I want to give one last opportunity for anyone in chat to drop some questions. And Ryan, do you have any questions you've been stewing on this whole time?
Yeah, you know, I guess around Hen, you know, what the integration looks like with that, because I love Hen, and I'm pretty big on the, you know, 3D like interactive side of Hen. I would wonder what the integration, what that, you know, that might feel like in an atomic form.
I mean, it's just going to be the same. You just connect the Temple wallet and query the objects that you like and put them up.
Temple or whatever other Tezos wallet, basically, because obviously Hen uses Tezos, so you'll just connect it in the same way that you will with MetaMask. And because that's what we kind of look at it, kind of more like chains as opposed to different marketplaces. Like obviously, you know, we say Hen because that's something like we hold it very dear to our hearts. We love that platform, but it includes technically anything that uses the Tezos blockchain as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it's going to be the same thing. We want to make it as like simple and straightforward for everybody as possible. So there's nothing where you have to, you know, crypto's hard enough. I don't want to have people download different things and put them in there. So same as MetaMask.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome. So the file isn't really like a limit for you guys. Like Foundation is they've had it coming soon for I don't know since the beginning. Their 3D like OBJ version of, you know, like accepting that kind of NFT, and Super Rare does it as well. You can upload a GLTF to them, so that format isn't a limitation at all.
We have a list actually of all the file formats that we're going to be including. We're looking at 3D pretty seriously as well, because that's a really important aspect of the industry that we think is going to stick around, especially like think about like the metaverse stuff as well. So let me actually look in our Slack chat with our engineers to confirm, because I don't want to say something that's not true in either direction.
Will you be able to climb into an atomic form as if it were a Mario 64 painting?
That's the question we're looking for.
Yes.
You know, it depends how high you are when you're, you know,
Yeah, right.
experiencing it.
Yeah, maybe not
Depends how many
included.
shrooms you take.
Not
I mean,
included,
you
but
have the magnetic frame, you know?
yeah.
Exactly.
Let's jump through that.
No,
Perfect.
reality-altering drugs sold separately, for sure.
Taken at your own risk, and we have OGG. Where's the other 3D? I think
that's a type of
our
weed.
engineers are currently our engineers are doing research on 3D stuff to see what we can do, because we're developing software for both the frame and the back and like the actual querying and aggregator at the same time. That's a good question, actually. We should be certain on for sure, but it's a priority.
Yeah.
I like 3D art. It's very cool, and also that opens up a lot of our like potential other products to us too for 3D.
It's not currently a touchscreen, is it?
No, we
Okay.
considered it, but we were like, no one really wants to have like fingerprints on art
Yeah.
that you're looking at. That was the realization. I also have someone say, where is your display available? Yeah, atomicform.com/orphan.
/orphan.
To get, I actually need to
Shout
pay
out
you out,
Orphan,
actually.
right? And
Yeah,
then, like,
you have.
Orphan-
I think we got some delay issues. I think. What were you guys saying?
Just shout out Orphan for being like one of the like earliest supporters. Just saying, like, it means a
Oh,
lot.
thanks, man. Yeah,
You were one of the first people that emailed us and was like, hey, this is cool. How can I get involved? And we were like, oh,
Yeah.
this is really nice.
I love it. I think that when I first saw it, I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I've been looking for. Like that, this is what the space needs. It needs some sort of pioneer making a product that verifies your NFTs in a way that you can show them to people. And so it's kind of a no-brainer for me. I thought what you guys were doing was really cool. And especially seeing the photon and seeing what you've got with the interchangeable frames, like even some features I didn't know it had.
Like I said, we're not marketers to a fault. We have like entire products. Literally, the fact that it's a frame is like, or like a display is like only 20% of like the stuff that we do.
I bet.
It needs to be like an educational marketing campaign that's on our to-do list. We've just been making sure that like people are getting paid and things are getting shipped. That's been like our number one priority, but
yeah,
it's good. It's good to also hear what you think about it and kind of what questions you have as well, because it's good because that forces us to actually think about how to talk to people about it.
for
And
sure.
what to change too. Like we're also open to suggestions always. I mean, obviously with hardware, it's a little bit more difficult, but stuff can always get updated in the future. And with software, it's a lot easier to update it as well.
Yeah. I think the one thing that I would like to see, and it sounds like you guys have it on the software end, is just like different profiles. So I could like, if I'm feeling it, I can like set moods with like different batches of artwork and it'll like rotate through those.
Cool.
Like if I'm in a bad mood, I like click on all my dark art, and in a good mood, I click on my sunsets or something. That would be cool.
We're gonna be doing that in folders, because I think about it when I was doing the wireframing for it, and I was like, I want it to feel like Spotify. You know how you have a Spotify playlist where it's like, I'm playing it in the car because I want to just feel my feelings, or like other like workout music or something. I want it to be the same thing. So I'm right there with you. That's gonna be an option for the collection.
Great.
Yep, your workout NFTs will be ready.
Perfect.
They'll be there. Your crying NFTs, whatever you want.
That's all of them right now.
That's all of them right now.
The crying or the working out one?
Like crying right now, but it's okay. They'll come back. Yeah, I think that's awesome. I had another question, but I spaced it. Ryan, do you have another one?
No.
If
I
not,
mean,
it's
The
okay.
display should be purchasable
yeah.
with
I mean,
crypto.
just-
Sorry, this guy is saying the display should be purchasable with crypto. You can buy it with crypto. I don't understand that. Right? Did we discontinue that?
That should be on there. Let me check.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah,
Well, I've been
awesome.
paying using we use Coinbase Commerce, so you should be able to use crypto for that.
Cool,
you go.
cool. I like it.
Sorry that you can't use like, I don't know, Fafcoin or whatever. You know, it's like
Yeah, can you pay
it's
with
like big.
Can you pay with CumRocket?
Yeah, you know,
Point.
unfortunately they're not added onto Coinbase yet, but it's like Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDC. It's like all of the stuff that they already have on their platform. You know, you can use that.
I think literally like half of our investment has been in USDC. I think that we've like that's not purchasing the frame obviously, but
yeah, well, we're crypto native. We're comfortable with that, and that was a very important option for us, and that was easier. Plus, we don't have to worry about like chargeback stuff. Nightmare.
yeah, it's ours now, motherfucker. You can't. Yeah, the credit card can't.
Chargeback's
That's hilarious.
tough.
Actually, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Circle would need to like intervene. It's like, nah, it's not gonna happen, bro. Like,
All right, guys. Well, let's start wrapping it up. Is there anything?
right.
Well, what is your guys' estimated ship out for these pre-orders? When can people expect to get one in their home?
So Photon, funnily enough, will be shipping out, and it hasn't even been announced. It'll be shipping out probably mid to late September. Wave, which is the display, it's a 27-inch LCD display, should be shipping out first week of November.
Cool.
Later than we wanted, but we wanted to get it in before, you know, Christmas and everything like that. But you should follow us at Atomic Form on Twitter.
Yeah, let me drop that for them.
Yeah, and we're on Instagram as well, but we post a lot of that's where our updates are on Twitter. So you can do that as well. And also our website is atomicform.com, which is super basic. But that's currently what we're...
I remembered my question. So let me derail this exit, and I want to get this answered. Are you guys going to have any integration with like Showtime or Eidos platform where when the NFT pops up, you can see your amount of likes and maybe comments on it or stuff like that?
I mean, that's up to them. Like, we're pretty much down to work with whoever, and I think that like we would love nothing more than if Showtime or Nifty or I guess we know the people at Foundation pretty well, but like other platforms were like able to integrate, like places that aren't just like, you know, because like in Nifty's custodial, so we do have a hurdle on that. And but yeah, I would welcome all platforms to hit us up and integrate for sure.
Sweet.
Because that would be awesome.
With being in crypto is that everything is extremely collaborative and it should integrate pretty easily. So we're open to talking to anybody pretty much at this point. But it's fun. I mean, some people like the social media-y aspect of Showtime and some people don't. So
I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I just thought it was an interesting question because I'm sure that some people would like to have like rack up a bunch of likes on their NFT and then display how many likes they have too. So
I know. I was looking at my Try Showtime, or I was just on my Showtime profile like yesterday, and I was like, it allows you to sort through like your most popular or most rare one, and I was like, okay, that's fine. Like for some people, I'm sure that's important. Yeah. For me, it's not, but you know, I guess give people the option, right?
Yeah. Also, like Zen Damage, will you add ads to the displays? Like, I cannot believe how many people ask this, and we never thought about it. Like we never ever thought about that, but it has become such like a majority of investors and a majority of even people that just want to buy it. It's important for traders and collectors. Yeah, evidently so, because everybody asks about it, I guess.
How so?
So it's like, I think like the idea, and correct me if I'm wrong, Zen Damage, is that like, say your favorite artist is having if we're getting like full Spotify with it, right? Like say you have like 30 pieces in your MetaMask that we know. And then it's like, you know, the most frequent collectors of these artists also collect these artists, and then that artist is having a drop on Foundation. Yeah, it's true. TVs do it. I'm just old. I'm 28, and like I still live in a world where TVs don't just connect to the internet. Yeah. Basically, like I just still can't conceive that in my mind. Like, but it's like, but it's true. I mean, and so people have brought up to us, and I'm actually very interested in exploring, like, if you have one of these things like above your desk, right? And like, you know, Foundation has a Chad Knight or Parrot or like Silva or somebody is doing a release, it would be really nice to actually see how many, to see it before you buy it. Oh, now Zen Damage says it's
But it
awful.
would be like an option. So for example, it would populate in like your aggregator page or whatever, and you could be like, oh, I want to see, I can put it on the display if I want. We're not going to just put shit on your on your display without like you wake up one day and you're like, oh, there's a Thank You X piece on here that's an ad for something. Like, no, that would not be what it would be. Yeah,
that's
so it would
that's
be
a great
like
clarification. Yeah, because I was expecting.
I just want to clarify that.
I was thinking that like, oh, like in between, in order to like save money on your frame, like you can get an ad version that in between your art will show an ad.
No.
Oh my God, no. I mean, like, Garrett might feel differently, but that feels completely antithetical to like.
I want to put ads in every. No, I hate ads. I don't think about ads. I just think it would be really
premium
nice.
version. There's a bar underneath that has a scrolling ad at all times.
Yeah, we need a monthly subscription, or else you're gonna get shilled by.
Considered like even putting our logo on the side of the frame and completely went against it because we were like, that would just like really wreck with how it would look, even though we would like our logo to be on it. But like, no, we want it to look
the
nice.
logo when you turn it on. We have like a
exactly, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I thought advertising like drops would actually be pretty cool. Like and like being able to see it before you buy it, and just
that would be nice.
Like, yeah, because I think that the biggest pain point for collectors and artists both right now is just the utility of these things. Like, they're just collecting dust in wallets, and it's like, I think that like, you know, unless you're like a video game and you have like specific use cases for your stuff, like this is what is going to give utility to the market, is being able to display, lend, share, and ultimately just enjoy. And this is the dumbest thing I've ever said. Like, most of the work I've ever done in my life has just been like to make as much money as possible. But it's pretty cool to just do something that's like, you know, I just want people to like their art. Like, I just want people to think that it's cool, you know?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think a lot of people are feeling the same way about this space. I know 888 feels similarly, and I know Ido is in the same kind of boat where they just love what's going on here, and it's just like it's a breath of fresh air to feel like you're contributing something to art and to people who are pouring themselves out on a daily basis for little reward.
Yeah, it feels very good. Yeah. It feels very good because like I'm so tired of you know, DeFi this and money that, and like just the stuff that we all already know. Like, it's the future of remittances and the internet and all this stuff. It's just kind of like, let's just look at some nice things.
Let's support people's creative endeavors and like advance culture in a meaningful way that's not just like, I don't know, memes basically about stonks, which is fine. I'm sure that will also be an NFT in the future.
Yeah, we'll have memes. I mean, Lush Sucks is like the number one meme.
They're great. Memetics is very interesting. Study of memes or whatever.
It's true. Yeah, 100%. Rustan says, will the special orphan version come with crows?
It must. Well, she'll ship a live crow to you in a box when the frame comes with you.
Yeah, perfect. Or dead, either way. It depends if I hit him with my Nerf gun or not.
Wow, that is terrible.
And your accuracy is
It's like in Arrested Development when Joe is walking around with like birds all the time. That's gonna be our frame. It's like 1 in 10 come with a special orphan crow when you open it up and it flies out and hits you. And
I'm down. If you guys want to do it, let's do it.
I mean, if you're giving us permission to just send you a dead bird in the mail, I'm sure that you can find somebody who will do that for you.
All I have to do is tweet about it, right?
Yeah, I think that's like a legal request. To like at me and then ask for a dead bird.
The box you're willing to like sustain injuries from said bird.
Yeah, that's fair.
That would hold up in court. I'm just gonna actually tweet that now. Get the lawyers on it. All right, I'm just gonna
get the lawyers on this.
Yeah, check this out. It's gonna be like the NFT attorney is like super nice.
Perfect, guys. All right, well, I appreciate you guys so much for what you're doing and for taking your time out of the day and sitting on here and chatting with us about what you guys are doing and about where NFTs and digital displays and all that stuff is going. It's been a really fun time.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah,
and likewise, thank you for I don't know, being cool and not
For
asking
supporting us. You were like one of our earliest supporters, and it was nice to like connect with you over email and everything. And
Yeah.
you know,
I'm
Yeah.
happy
hopefully
to.
we'll see you. Yeah, next time you're in New York, you should come out and say hey. We actually have like an office now, which is really nice too.
Nice.
Oh yeah, if you're ever in the city, come chill for sure. And,
Yeah.
And I wanted to say thank you in a weird way for not asking like really dumb questions like where's the future of NFTs go, or just something like some really annoying like Wall Street Journal questions
Yeah.
or something.
Well, if you know, you know, and I think that everyone watching the stream understands what you guys are doing. As soon as you say it's a verified NFT display, if you know what that is, then you're on board. That's how I feel. So, just happy to talk to you guys about the process and what you guys are thinking and doing about it. So, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys.
Well, please, I mean, don't be a stranger. Anybody in chat or stream or whatever, like, hit us up anytime. Like, I'd say we're pretty reactive. And thank you again for and Orphan in particular, for your very early support. And Ryan, I hope that you like your boy. That we could name
Your
it.
boy.
It would be nice if there was a boy name service, actually, kind of like Hash Masks did, like how they had. That would be cool, actually. I'd like to name my boy.
That would be cool. Let's talk to Lorona. That would be really cool.
Yeah, there should be I'm gonna inquire about that.
Yeah.
Maybe the last boy will be, mint your own at a certain name.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, could you imagine if it was just like the most regular boy, but you were just bidding for naming rights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could happen.
That might be a thing.
There's some boy madness going on. I'm excited to see where the rest
I
of
am
this.
mad for boys. I am mad for boys.
I'm excited to see the rest of this auction. They're so fun, but
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm watching it pretty close, man. I did manage to win that Brendan Dawes thing, by the way, which is why.
Oh, nice, man.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was. I hope that the other guy can't sleep tonight thinking about his loss.
Jeez.
These auctions are so fun to watch. This is like a side note. It's fun to just be a voyeur in the space and see these art pieces getting bid up and people being so happy about it. It's fun.
Yeah, Brendan does like immediately like hit me up on Twitter because I talked to him on the Sotheby's auction. Yeah, because during the closing of the Sotheby's auction, I was doing the clubhouse with Camilla and Michael at Sotheby's and stuff, and I was like, Brendan Dawes is the best one here. And he was like, yeah.
Hell yeah, gotta represent.
My favorite. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Cool.
Gonna do a quick outro, but thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause for everyone. That means I'm just playing a sound effect. You guys can't hear it. All right, thanks, guys. Thank you. I'll talk to you
Cool.
soon.
I'm just leaving all of them.
Yeah.
Bye.
That was fun, guys. That was super fun. Wow, they were so nice, and they're doing such good work. Don't you guys think? I'm so excited to get mine. And the Chromecast thing looks so sweet. The particle, right? I'm so bad with names. It's not their branding. It's just me bad with names. It looks awesome. Yeah, it's gonna be a hot seller. That thing is a game changer for sure. And I love that they're doing it. I can't wait for the day, and I hope that it comes that atomic form is like, if you see it in someone's house, you know, and it's a mainstream thing. That would be awesome. Oh, great, guys. Hey, what up, Jay? So, guys, next week we have Thunderdome with BT. And it's going to be an audio one. So if you don't have anyone who does music, or you don't do music yourself, start hitting people up. Start getting those connections, because there will be a mandatory audio component to this Thursday's Thunderdome. And then Pain. Yeah, so if you need help finding someone, hop on the Discord and we can hook you up with someone, right? I want to get people thinking more about audio, and BT's the perfect guy to judge doing that. whether it's music or like some sound design, whatever you got. So that's going to be Thursday. Tuesday, I don't have a guest yet, but we'll probably get someone on. If not, then I'll just be here myself doing some news. But you guys, tonight at 8 o'clock PST, which is midnight EST, which is 6 Europe time, Domino has a concert. Domino Music has a concert, and I will be streaming it from here with the wife up in the attic. We're going to have a good time. We're going to watch it on stream. We're going to watch it on the projector, and we're just going to hang out. I mean, it should be pretty easy going, honestly. So we'll do that. I know you know. Hell yeah, Zen. Yeah, so 8 o'clock tonight. Look out for the notification. Look out for Twitter, all that good stuff. And I'm going to go hang out, relax a little bit, and I'll see you guys then. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed talking with Garrett and Isabelle. I sure did. And Ryan's always a pleasure. So I'll see you later tonight. Peace.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.